Hello, my name is Happy Hemp Paste, but you can call me Happy. I am from a large family, and we are growing like weeds. I have a story to tell you. Did you know my family and friends are put in an extraction machine and turned into an oil? So sad to see them like this. CBD oil is a big mistake because a lot of the medicine is destroyed through chemical extraction. After extraction, my friends and family are then thrown in the trash, and if you were to see them like that, you would see that they still have a lot of life left in them. Why would humans only use our oil when the whole plant has so much more to offer? What a waste! Neuroscientists and experts will tell you that the whole plant is much better than CBD oil. Did you know that science has discovered that CBD oil is damaged? Many of the important healing compounds evaporate during extraction. Did you know that hemp paste uses no machines and no chemicals, so there is no damage done, and the cost to make hemp paste is thousands of times cheaper? This means I can help a lot more people, and I leave no environmental footprint. This medicine will now be affordable to the whole world. Oh yes, I am so much better than CBD oil because my paste has no waste, because I am whole plant based. Only 2 ingredients in every jar: my flour and coconut oil. The most natural form of me ever. Here, try some.
Hi, welcome to the program. Today, Doc Peter joins us and talks about hemp paste and why it's important to keep the plant matter whole. He talks about the terpenes and phytonutrients that are stripped away by CBD oil manufacturing methods, talking about the entourage effect and how hemp paste is the only hemp product that has it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas. And today we're going to be grazing with some hemp. So I have Peter, Doc Peter on and Paul on, and we're going to go through some questions that you may have about hemp. And hemp paste in particular, because it is different and it is remarkably the only product on the market like this. So we're going to answer some questions why it's a superior product and why, if you're interested in CBD, it's the only way to go. So Peter, the first question is, I'm going to ask, what is hemp paste? Would you please explain that to people?
That'd be great. Thank you for asking. Anyways, thank you everybody for coming to today, and appreciate you watching Mr. Happy, because that's where it all starts, keeping your plant matter whole. So what we're going to cover today, after Mr. Happy's intro, why we keep the plant matter whole. And so what is hemp paste? Unlike CBD oil, hemp paste is not chemically extracted from the hemp plant. Instead, the whole hemp plant is ground up and mixed with MCT oil, or coconut oil sometimes we use as well, as a carrier and oil that helps transfer as many of the phytoconstituents into the bloodstream. Both CBD oil and hemp paste come from the same plant, but CBD goes through an unnecessary damaging extraction process with either CO2, ethanol, or alcohol, or even butane. Anyways, those are the 4 popular extraction methods. Hemp paste eliminates all these methods due to the medicinal damage that's caused through the high heat extraction process. So we don't do that, and hence, so there's no product waste. We actually use the whole pound instead of throwing Mr. Happy in the trash. And that was the whole point of that video, because they're wasting all this plant matter by throwing it in the garbage when they could have used the whole pound. If they would have been making the paste instead of the oil, they could have helped 32 people instead of 1 for the price of that pound. So
That's May I add something, Peter?
Sure.
One of the things that really spoke to me was the fact that it contains all the cannabinoids, all the terpenes, all the flavonoids, all the canaflavins, enzymes, nutrients, and a whole array of phytochemical nutrients as well, which are lost, many of which are lost in the extraction process, making this a superior product. And that's why I say that. So go ahead.
Well, and that's beautiful. Yeah, thank you for adding that, Gail. Yeah, all these naturally occurring compounds work together, making a synergistic result within the body. And they, in essence, they call that the entourage effect, which anybody can go look up. You can go look up entourage effect on YouTube, and I'm sure there's plenty of videos on the. And basically, entourage effect is all the elements are still kept intact by the process when we make. It's just basically canning cannabis 101. So everything that decarboxylates in that jar, Gail, stays intact 100%. Nothing burns off. You're not trying to make an oil. You're just keeping the plant matter intact. It's just like I say, I used to can tomatoes with my mom as a kid. So canning cannabis 101 was a natural progression for me. And we leave no carbon footprint, and you get all the dense nutrition, which activates all the endocannabinoid receptors in the human body. So that's probably a good start. Anyways, if you want
the other thing that I thought is rather fascinating is it keeps the entire genetic code of the plant intact. That's important because we have an endocannabinoid system. So that's going to certainly come into play. So what is, well, we can go with facts or subjective, or we can go with what is hemp spectrum.
The last four little bullets, CBD isosceles is one compound. So in essence, because you get the CBDs from the oil, Gail, which is great. They were on the right path, but they didn't realize that if they would have kept the whole plant matter together, they would have gotten the CBNs, the CBDAs, the CBGs, which are all
they all have different functions, don't they?
Required for maximum healing because it's going to rewrite new neuron pathways to the brain. So this is, they call it says full spectrum CBD oil. It's got about 244 compounds. Whole plant hemp paste spectrum full paste, the food grade edible paste, has 500 plus compounds. That's called stacking the deck for your human machine for healing.
That's doubling it.
Yep. And it has the 118 terpenes still in it intact because we didn't do a high heat extraction, which all CBD oil, and I've written off to 15 huge companies over the years, Gail, and not one of them. And if they do say they have terpenes in their oil, it's not cannabis terpenes. So that's like trying to put an orange and a grape together. They don't meet together on the same genetic code because they're two different fruits. So if you're going to add terpenes, which a lot of the oil makers do, so they can brag that they have terpenes, they're not cannabis terpenes. So there's really not much truth in advertising on planet Earth. So, you get people go out and get a CBD oil and they're saying, well, gee, it doesn't have the same genetic makeup as what the hemp paste plant matter will, because it activates everything in the human body, because you're actually because you have all the elements intact and it's food grade, it's going to actually fix what ails you, whether it be dementia, Alzheimer's, and other issues. But if you want to go down, let's go to facts or subjective next, and we'll walk people through the rest of this.
There's a lot of research out there backing this information up, but unfortunately, it usually doesn't come from the United States because of the laws that were created not long ago. But there still is ongoing research, and they're finding out more and more all the time about all the different CBDs, for that matter, and what aspect of the body they affect. And we have an endocannabinoid system with receptor sites for the CBDs. So to me, that just proves that is something that is necessary for the human body. But anyway, let's go on to the next.
Right.
Go ahead.
Just one little tiny segue. I didn't mean to get off, but we had actual CBDs in our food stuff back in the 30s until the mid 30s when Big Pharma took over, and basically we were actually feeding our food stock, our cows, our cats, our chickens. They were actually eating hemp back in the day. So you were actually getting it into your food when you ate the meat and the eggs and these things these animals were being fed actual hemp back in the day. But they've since stopped that many, many years ago.
Yeah, and that's something people don't think about. If you're eating meat, one of the things, whatever that animal ate is going to be in it. And they used to feed hemp, just like you said, but they don't do that anymore. So that process has been lost, and this is a way to replace it in your body so your body has everything that it needs to function at its optimum level. What is the hemp spectrum?
Hemp spectrum. Okay. Let's see where. Yeah.
We kind of covered that already in a way.
Next question, Gail. Facts are subjective.
Yeah.
And we'll cover that. I actually got a link on that too.
Okay. I kind of jumped ahead here, but anyway, that's kind of short and sweet.
Anyway, so here's the facts are subjective. One might say that there's nothing wrong with full spectrum oil because it works. So what's the big deal? Well, our response is, besides the fact a lot of the medicine ends up in the trash because it's impossible to remove all the medicine from the physical plant, and it leaves an unnecessary environmental footprint because the machines and chemicals are unnecessary. And neuroscientists have stated that the whole plant creates a superior entourage effect. That's where the community of all the elements work together throughout your human body and saying, okay, I'm getting what I'm supposed to be getting to activate my human being, whereas with the oil, not so much. Not only there's serious waste, though, with doing the oil process, but there's serious damage done through the chemical extraction, which destroys many of the medical photo constituents. One could easily conclude hemp paste is worth looking at. Anyways, imagine only being able to use 16 letters of the alphabet, Gail, and out of the 26 letters of the alphabet, you could still communicate with the 16 letters, but it'd be very limited. CBD oil compared to the whole plant is exactly that. Yes. You're missing the primary constituents. So instead of getting the 500, you're getting maybe half that. And you're missing the other elements to the CBDAs, the CBNs, CBGs. They don't exist. So
exactly, and I think that's a fascinating way of perceiving the problem. 26, like if you only had 16 out of 26 alphabet letters or whatever, would you still be able to communicate? It would certainly be more difficult, wouldn't it?
Yeah, right. Exactly. So just think of the plant matter being missing the elements to its total structure. Same as the alphabet being half, you get half the alphabet, but you don't get effective communication, in this realm unless you can have all the letters coming together. It makes it a lot easier. Same with keeping the plant matter whole.
But as we move on here, we have people that are saying their product is full spectrum. Okay. But what is the hemp spectrum versus what they're calling full spectrum? I know you touched on it a little bit, but let's revisit
that. Yeah, the term hemp spectrum was coined by a group of industry professionals who wanted to separate themselves from the greatly misused term full spectrum or full spectrum oil. The meaning of the word full means not lacking or omitting anything, complete. However, CBD oil is incomplete and far from full spectrum healing oil. And it contains under 200 out of the 500 photochemical constituents found in the plant when we keep it whole. So in layman's terms, CBD oil doesn't smell or look anything like the cannabis plant. Many of the plant compounds are missing, and yet the CBD oil industry ignorantly uses the term full spectrum. When you hear the word hemp, you think hemp plant, right? And not an oil. That contains less than half of what the whole plant contains. That is not full spectrum. So remember I told you, Gail, it's a lot of truth in advertising. We know GW Pharmaceuticals has got their hands all over the oil industry. They didn't know how to keep it simple. And that's how big pharma does, and they've been doing it. That's just like the chemo and all the other medical modalities.
And isn't it funny? You can find prescription medicine ads on TV, but you sure won't find anything about hemp paste or even the oil for that matter.
And Gail, the beauty of the paste, because it's food grade, the only side effects that you'd be able to list on those commercials is may cause a feeling of self-well-being, may cause total healing, may cause you to actually become conscious again on planet Earth because it's activating the left-right brain hemispheres because it's food. They won't cover that in a commercial.
Let's move on to the next one.
Let's clarify something first.
Oh, please.
some of the oil manufacturers are calling their oil full spectrum, or
Yes.
they call it hemp spectrum. Okay, and they've coined the phrase hemp spectrum to confuse the consumers into thinking that it's the full spectrum hemp. Well, there's full spectrum and there's hemp spectrum. Well, hemp spectrum's got to be better, when that's just a baloney term.
Tricksters.
Yeah, yeah, they're playing war games with words.
Yes.
And let the buyer beware.
There you go. That's why we're doing this class here today.
Okay. Okay. The next one is, do we sell CBD or phytocannabinoids? And I think it's important to bring out the difference between a jar of the hemp paste and the amount of cannabinoids in it versus the usual size of an oil and the amount of cannabinoids you get. There's a big difference usually.
Yeah, I'll cover that in a second about, you could take 2,000 milligrams of CBD oil and 2,000 milligrams of hemp paste, and the medical capacities of the oil versus the paste are unbelievably different, because the oil is isolated in one molecule and the paste has everything still in it. It allows it to go to work to heal the body's medical maladies. So my Nutra is the creator of the hemp paste, and I've been with Brad for 7 years. I started with him since the beginning. It's Brad's company. I just thought to let everybody know, but I work with Brad, and I have this, I'm sort of like a franchisee. I'm helping share the love on planet Earth so we can get people healing. But Brad's the creator, and as much as possible, we avoid using the word CBD. We are huge fans of all the whole plant and not just CBD, because CBD is only one part of the 500 plus elements of the plant. So when you buy a 2,000 milligram jar of hemp paste, there are over 2,100 milligrams of phytocannabinoids in all the terpenes and the complete genetic code of the plant, which in essence happens because now it can get past the blood-brain barrier because it's food grade. It will actually activate the new neuron pathways in the left-right brain hemispheres, which helps, Alzheimer's, dementia, autism, the vaccine-injured autism, because it's going to rewrite new neuron pathways. Because right now, for people who are dealing with the issues of the brain, they're having problems with their brains, their neurons firing right, usually from chemicals they're on, the pharmaceuticals, the fluoride, the taking the jabs and stuff. Yeah, all those chemicals compromise the immune system. But what's good about the paste is it comes in and it starts rewriting the neuron pathways in the brain, and it allows for the consciousness to come up, and you go to healing. So
that brings up the next part in my estimation about the trace amounts of the THC that are recommended, and some people don't want to make sure there's absolutely no THC. Would you address that, please?
I will. I'm glad to. It says some consumers do not want any traces of THC, but neuroscientists believe having trace amounts are beneficial, especially for creating the entourage effect, which is the community of all the elements coming together and working in the human body, because it's food grade. So the government has regulated the THC limit to be 0.3% or below on the threshold, which obviously does not cause any psychoactive effects, or they would have set the level at 0.0. But so the need for zero THC strains is subjective, but most experts would agree that removing the trace THC is less effective. So just having that little offset, Gail, below the 0.3%, that THC is going to work as a catalyst, even though there's not much in it of the THC. It's going to be a catalyst to go and work in conjunction with the CBDs, the CBDAs, the CBNs, CBGs. If you've never seen the molecular structure of the wheel on cannabis, it has a really nice breakdown. You can find the cannabis wheel just by going to YouTube and looking up cannabis wheel, and it will bring you the picture of the breakdown of the molecular structure of this huge plant, this incredible healing plant.
Okay. So, yeah, there are some things. So people are not going to get high from this.
Nope. Nope.
Not even close. So that's important for people to know. It's not psychoactive in that sense. It's just there only for the purpose of making it a whole process. Paul, do you have something to add?
Well, that was the next part we were going to go into, is whether hemp paste can cause euphorics or drowsiness.
Not in this lifetime. It's I call that's why I call CBD paste unleaded. So I call, if you get a THC paste, that's going to be leaded. So yeah, it's going to have all the other elements with the CBDs, but when it's a THC plant matter, yes, it's going to give you a body high. It's going to make you go lay down and relax, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of the healing process, and it helps go after those cancer cells a lot more aggressively when the body's in a state of is not adrenal fatigue and not stress. But by eating the CBD paste, it's going to rewrite neuronal pathways. They're going to start thinking different, because it's creating a new level of consciousness. And that's what Big Pharma was so scared of, why they put the kibosh on cannabis in 1937.
Yes, definitely. So that's very interesting, and people need to know that. So thank you for that. So we already kind of covered the federal limit on THC, right? Yeah,
but we'll cover it just for a repeat. But that says, hemp is only... See, the only difference between hemp and cannabis, besides the words, is one's got THC and one's doesn't, for the most part. Hemp, that's why hemp is not in the same category.
But they're all under the family of cannabis, basically.
Yes, right. One's leather,
that's why they came up with the word marijuana, too, in order to... But anyway, they ended up taking hemp off and everything, and that could have turned our entire economy around, and still can, when people get on board and know the truth about it. So go ahead and go on about that aspect.
Okay, on the federal limit on THC, hemp is only classified as hemp if it contains less than the 0.3% THC margin. And in most states, if the hemp tests over 0.3%, it will then be called marijuana. Which is, by the way, folks, that term was created in 1937 as well. They took the word cannabis and made the word marijuana a legal term, so they could incarcerate the masses on a different level, so they wouldn't have any competition with people getting their minds right with this cannabis. Anyways, so whenever you hear claims of CBD oil having 0 THC, you can be assured the THC was chemically removed and the product is now incomplete and damaged, because the process removes not only the THC, but also but many of the phytochemical constituents. By nature, the cannabis plant will have at least 0.16% THC, non-psychoactive levels, and that small amount of THC plays a very important role in the entourage effect. THC removal is an unnatural chemical process in which neuroscientists highly discourage. So let me give you an explanation, Gail. So when Brad created our plant matter, our CBD, our plant matter, he grew the strain for 3.5 years so that he could get it high enough on the CBD amount, but low enough on the THC. So once he found that happy spot after 3.5 years, we actually copyrighted our seed stock. So we actually grow the same genetically coded plant matter the same time, because we actually were able to bring it up to the point where we wanted it. So it would be legal in all 50 states because it's below the 0.3% margin, but it's also, we have a lab test in the house that people can go look at to see what we have. We do a yearly annual lab test. You won't find any lab tests with CBD oil, by the way.
That is for sure. Go ahead, Paul.
That's the beautiful thing about it, is your products, the Nutra products, hemp paste, is tested every year to make sure that there are no pesticides, to make sure that the THC and CBD levels are correct, because cross-pollination happens. You never know when somebody is growing their own little backyard strain of Mary Jane down the road. So you've got to test your product every year to make sure that not only that your product is high quality and that everything is correct, but you also fall under the federal guidelines. So that's awesome.
Yes, yep. And I would like to say, I think Brad has been rather stellar in that regard as far as transparency is concerned. And that's what everybody wants, is transparency. Are you actually selling me what you tell me you're selling me? Well, he has the proof on the website. So, and the lab, and I assume it's an independent lab as well. So anyway, and also he checks for, he doesn't use, it's organic. Let's put it that way. It's all natural, the way nature intended. So, and you got the lab reports to prove it. And it is,
Yep.
I notice he has something there on all the scam organic food fraud that most people aren't even aware of. But we won't go there. That's a topic for another day. So
Sure.
what is the recommended dose for the hemp paste then?
Okay, well, I think we missed one question. Do you test your products for pesticides? I'll cover that in 2 seconds. And matter of fact, if you clicked on that, if you clicked on the "Do you test your products for pesticides," Gail, ironically, right in there it says, yes, our hemp paste has been tested through a certified laboratory. Our test shows 0 pesticides in every category. Click here. There's a highlighted blue button to see our most current lab report. See, folks, we don't have nothing to hide. Whereas I can't say so much for Big Pharma and the other players. But anyways, we believe in truth and transparency, which, like I say, truth in advertising is so it's so backwards these days. It's just like, you know, when they're pushing the aspartame, they had to go change the word to amino sweet to trick people to keep drinking the poison because they knew aspartame was bad, so they just changed the word. And that's how the shake shifters work. Look at the full spectrum oil, which is not full spectrum at all. They can't hang their head.
Let's not belabor that point. Let's go on to the next one because we've already covered that.
Okay, well,
because that's
anyways. Right here, they can just go. It says, if you follow the news lately, millions of products are not organic. Click on the following link. Thousands scammed by organic food fraud. And this is why an actual laboratory test is posted from each crop we grow. So there, that covers that. Now we need to step on to the next one.
So what's the recommended dose for the hemp paste? Because people wonder that. I've already been asked that myself. And I just usually say what I've heard you say many times, a pea-sized dose. But develop that a little further if you will.
Yes. And what I like is Brad covers that when people are first starting on the CBD paste, in order to activate the body a little bit more aggressively, he covers this dosing schedule, and it's really simple. And folks, you just put it on the end of a butter knife, or we even have capsules that you can put it in if you order them with your jar. You can also get the 100 capsules to go with it. It's $1, I think. Anyways, so if you don't like the taste of it, you can always put it in capsules as well. So it says,
it's really not that bad, and I think you get used to the taste, actually.
Sure. I never put myself in. Mine's never capsules. I always eat it straight out.
Sublingually too is a good way to begin the absorption immediately. Yeah.
Right, because you got those little venous dealies up underneath the tongue that helps for it to go in sublingually. So how much should I take? It says users of hemp paste commonly claim that it takes less hemp paste than CBD oil to see results. The world famous neuroscientist Sedona Ribeiro said that you can increase the amount of CBD oil and it will not change the results because CBD oil is incomplete. This means with the whole plant of the hemp paste, you spend less money and receive better results. And I'll get into that in a second.
You'll get more bang for your buck.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, well, we're like we're like a penny a milligram, while most are like 5 to 15 cents a milligram.
Oil is very expensive.
Yep, it's good. People got to do their homework. So if you got a 2,000 milligram jar of oil and a 2,000 milligram jar of paste, the paste is going to be hands down much more efficient and effective because the plant matter has not been destroyed through its extraction process, and it hasn't killed the genetic code. So you're getting everything. So 2,000 milligrams of CBD paste in a jar is going to yield you 2,000 milligrams of CBN, CBD, CBGAs, all the elements, and it's really going to have. It's going to go to work on healing the body. Well,
I think a lot of people don't even realize that. When you say CBD, you're covering a whole array of different CBD chemicals, or I hate to use the word chemicals, but phytonutrients. Let me put it that way, because there's, like you said, CBDG, CBD. Whatever, there's a bunch of different ones is what I'm getting at. It's not just CBD in general. Okay, did we cover that sufficiently?
Well, anyways, the FDA does not allow us to prescribe a daily dose. A popular method is to calculate milligrams by half your body weight. Example, if you weigh 180 pounds, then half of that would be 90 or 90 milligram dose. That is about 4.5 dosing spoons, as one dosing spoon contains about 20 milligrams. So if you can think of just a pea-sized dose as 20 milligrams, that's your math equation in your head. So if you did 5 of those little pea-sized doses, that will be 100 milligrams.
Free Range with Gail of Gaia is honored to be affiliated with Nutra, makers of Hemp Paste. Hemp Paste is a whole food product that still contains most, if not all, of the terpenes, phytonutrients, essential elements, and CBDs of the raw hemp plant. CBD oil manufacturing methods strip away living essential elements, leaving only one, a dead CBD oil. CBD oil alone simply cannot support the entourage effect that occurs when hemp pastes essential nutrients go to work to support your optimum health. Almost 200 terpenes and over 500 other phytonutrients work together with a synergistic effect that simply doesn't happen with CBD oil alone. Visit hemppaste.gailofgaia.com. That's hemppaste.gailofgaia.com to learn more. And be sure to check out the impressive array of hemp-enriched products while you're there. That website again, hemppaste.gailofgaia.com. That's hemppaste.gailofgaia.com.
Okay, how do you, people ask, can I get high from any of the hemp paste? We already covered it, but absolutely not, correct?
Anyways, it's showing down at the bottom, we have capsule versus sublingual. So some people just want to do the capsule, and so that's an option with the 2,000 milligram jar. They can have that.
Okay, let's move on from that. Okay, yeah, they can get capsules if they want them.
Yep. So yeah, can I get high from any hemp paste products? No. Even if you consume an entire jar of hemp paste in one sitting, we do not recommend this, but it will be a waste of product, and you could end up with a little euphoric feeling or drowsiness because it's an overload with all those CBDs, not because of the THC. Anyways, hemp paste does not contain the psychoactive properties like THC, except a very minute amount, which is always in there. Both respond in 2 different ways with your receptors throughout your body. So that's
the next question too is very important because people worry about what if they make me take a drug test?
Right. Anyways, are we showing this FAQ in real time by chance? I mean, it's we're just talking about it. People can go click on.
No, we're just talking about it.
Yeah.
Can CBD be mistaken for THC in a drug test? In a drunk test, yeah.
In a drunk test, yeah.
I resemble that remark.
There you go.
Thank you, Paul.
if you work at a job in the system, it says we recommend telling your employer that you are taking hemp paste, which is legal. By the way, we're legal in all 50 states without a medical card. You can't say that about most of the oil either. Some of the oil, but not a lot of it. Because the big farmers got their hand out, your doctor wants to get a piece of your backside, they want you to go get a medical card. None of that is required with the paste ever. Anyway, so
that's important.
Yep. Yeah. So you tell your employer that they must send out your test to a more accurate testing facility because the popular current THC test kit cannot distinguish between THC and CBD. So you can always also request that your employer give you a blood test, as those are able to definitely distinguish the amount of low legal amount of THC in your system, so you wouldn't pop positive on the piss test. So you must request this test to show both levels of THC and CBD. If you fail to request this, it will result in a failed drug test. So that's how you get through that. You want a blood test, not a piss test.
Yeah, well, I have a little commentary here, and that is all this testing is, as far as I'm concerned, unconstitutional and an invasion of privacy unless you have reason to believe that somebody is on the job drunk or right. High or totally out of their mind. I just don't see the point of any of this, and we allowed it to happen, and we should not have.
Yeah, if they have probable cause. They have to have probable cause.
And these scumbags, the highway pirates always invent something. I know. I've dealt with clowns at the circus many times.
Yeah, I was a truck driver for 4 years. So I know exactly about the testing.
Yeah, let's see what we can vet. Well, yeah, look at California. All these recreational and legal states, they still pull them over and they make them blow in a tube, which is, like I say, that tube doesn't register anything. It's a lie. It's a scam. Then they're going to issue you a ticket for $450 for driving under the influence in California when it's a recreational state.
Yeah.
The legal thing has kept everybody barring up. Anyways, that's enough of that.
Okay, moving right along.
Last question. to cover. I mean, there's tons I can cover more, but this is direct and it's on the site for people to read. So anyways, Hemp Paste cannot replace nutrition. This is, we are passionate about providing people with knowledge so that you can make more informed decisions when it comes to your health and well-being. We all want more days full of life and vitality. Currently, the new discovery is phytocannabinoids hemp. Call it a new billion-dollar discovery for a good reason. But before you jump on the hemp train, we have a question for you. God forbid, let's say you have cancer and you ask yourself a question, did I get cancer because I wasn't taking hemp paste? Of course not. You did not get cancer because you were not taking hemp paste. So why are you wanting to use hemp paste? To help with your cancer. We ask this question because we want you to look at disease is simple, logical way. Yes, hemp paste is improving millions of lives, but we must build foundation on nutrition as well, Gail. And I've been covering that for a decade on alternatives like magnesium.
Well, I've been covering it my entire career of
Right.
past as a nutritionist, as best I could, working with a group of physicians which have little or no training in nutrition whatsoever. But anyway, that's a whole nother story for another day. I think I found when I looked up the nutritional value of the hemp plant alone, I was amazed because it has all the essential oils, it has all the essential amino acids, it has fiber, it has other nutrients as well. It's a very, very nutritious product or vegetable, however you want to call it. But anyway, go ahead and go on from where you left off.
Okay. Anyways, but anyways, what we're trying to tell people is, this is a journey. Using the paste, but you want to be, if you're drinking soda pop and beer and crap like that, you might want to start deleting that out of your system because, soda is very bad because it's got sodium benzoate. Sugar feeds all cancers. So here's another reason why, loving ourselves enough to change our diet. I'm into hydration with the Celtic salt, which I posted that link a million times. You know about the Celtic salt. Most people aren't getting the right salt. But also most people are magnesium deficient, and that's an easy fix too. And that's what I like, Gail. So we can do some educational alternative healing shows because there's so many different solutions that we can share. But let me get back to this article.
Well, yeah, because the part about the nutritional aspect that helps with detoxifying and alkalizing the body is very important right now.
Yep.
And
most definitely.
People do need to adjust their diet as best they can because our food has been weaponized. And what I mean by that is we get glyphosate in almost everything, and that is a toxin big time. So anyway, was there anything else you wanted to say in that regard?
Yeah, I just want to finish this up, and then we have shipping questions, and we can take a little tiny break if we want to segue for about 5 minutes. Paul, you can play a tune or something. We'll take a little break, and then we're gonna walk through what the paste is, the different size jars. We're going to talk about the cocoa bars, the hemp cream, and the SOS powder. These are all primary healing things that most people are unaware that we have. Like I said, I was really impressed with Dr. Mikovits talking about a hemp cream that she was using. Anyways, so she's on the right track. Anyways, HempPaste.com has tens of thousands of hours working with naturopathic and holistic doctors. So if you're in those realms, folks, you definitely want to take a look at this because you're going to be doing your clients a much better favor by putting them on paste and by keeping them on the oil that's missing a lot.
Okay. Let's take a little mini break here and we will come back with the rest of the story.
All right. Let's take a break.
Well, we're back and we hope you enjoyed the overview of the different frequently asked questions, which you can find on the homepage. And now we're going to cover some of the products that they also carry, which also have the CBD and hemp in them, including the creams. They have chocolates, they have coffee, they have a smoothie mix, and so on. So let's go to that page and we can talk about that because the hemp paste comes in different sizes too, correct, Peter?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm opening up mine so I can see a little bit better. I see at the top, and we have the Canadian little pouches as well. Yes, folks, we do help your dogs and cats. See, the Big Pharma left them out of the mix. They forgot our four-legged friends, and we can also heal horsey cancer as well. But the beauty about CBDs is since we all have an endocannabinoid system, in which 99%, probably 90% of the planet or better is deficient on endocannabinoids, we didn't leave the pets out. So we have Mr. Happy packet, 60 milligrams. Anyways, that's for your dogs. Anyways, we also have shown hemp cream in the middle there, Paul. It's showing, and we'll go through that in a minute, but I want to cover the paste. So if you scroll on down to the different size jars, Paul, the Hemp Paste 2000, the Hemp Paste 1000, and the Hemp Paste 500, and I can explain the dosing on this real quick.
I don't think we're looking at the same screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
The total amount of CBDs or phytocannabinoids in the jars are based on the size of the jar. So you can buy a smaller jar to try it. Or what about these packets, Peter?
Yeah, those are happy packets of 60 milligrams of phytocannabinoids. Brad sells them in the individual and they got them for the doggies as well, as you see that. Anyways.
So those are sample packs, would you call them, or what?
Yes.
They're take with you packs.
Yeah. There you go.
But they can, or they can keep it simple and just go order a 2,000 milligram jar, which is $99. That's 99 cents a dose, dirt cheap. And that's another thing. Our old retail used to be $175, folks. So we're giving everybody 43% off the retail price, which our old retail was 6 months ago, because we are about helping and healing humanity. And 100 doses is a good way to get started. Anyways, you got the happy packets. Anyways, Paul, can you scroll down to see the Hemp Paste 2000 and you got a 1000 and you got a 500. You see those three, or are you on?
Yes, they're very visible.
Yeah, it's right up at the very top. I see it. So the 2,000 milligram jar holds approximately 100 doses. So that's 20 milligrams a dose. 1,000 milligram jars, half that. That's about 50 doses. And the Hemp Paste travel size, the 500 milligrams, roughly 25 doses. So I just broke down the math for people in their head. And so if you're looking for the best deal, the 2,000 milligram CBD jars are a good way to start. And we already gave the dosing instructions. But if they do dosing twice a day, that's going to help keep the endocannabinoid system activated 24/7. So it's about 12 hours on each dose. But you can't say that on the oil, I don't think.
Okay, now we're talking about Canna Sleep, Canna Doggy, and Kitty Canna.
Right. Yeah, we got Canna Kitty. So they have a 230 milligram for your little kitties. We have a 2,000 milligram Canna Doggy, and we do have a Canna Sleep, which doesn't have any THC. It just has more CBGs in it, something Brad created. However, at the end of this, I'll tell people about my other sleep medicine. It's probably
okay.
Sleep, but anyway,
let's. You can buy it by the case as well, correct?
Yep. So if you got people who are in the oil industry, they do the shops and stuff. They can actually stock by the case in the shops, and probably be a great idea to have them get some flyers as well to put right next to the case. And we do have flyers, which Paul, you've already seen. So anyways, what does the Canna Paste heal? Pretty much, like I say, neurogenic issues. If you need to get off of opioids, this will help you remediate opioid issues. Xanax, Prozac, Zoloft. Oil can't get you off any poison medications. Oil cannot remediate the side effects of chemo in real time. If you're doing chemo, which I don't suggest anybody do, but if you're choosing to do chemo, you can use the paste in conjunction with your chemo to offset the mitigating effects, those bad effects from the chemo. I've had plenty of people use it, and it helps so they don't lose their hair, get the nausea, vomit. They actually were going to work every day, even though they were getting chemo.
All right. What's on the next page, Paul?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just case. Oh, and the gel capsules where you can buy the capsules. You don't like the taste of the paste.
Right. Then you get, so if you're not sure if you're going to like they're not sure they're not going to like the taste. They can always order 100 caps when they order their 2,000 milligram jar.
Let's move on to the creams.
Yes. Cream. All right.
Yeah, hemp cream original, massage cream.
What's the difference between them?
Right now, I'm just trying to get
Peter.
my damn computer to go large so I can see it. Okay, there we go.
Okay, well, we're looking at the hemp cream
Original.
massage and original.
Right. Well, let's just go. I'm just going to keep it simple. We have the $39.95 jar, 300 milligrams of CBD, all the elements of the CBD. And Brad managed to put it in a cream, and you can look up what's in the cream. And we use frankincense and myrrh as well. So when you put it on transdermally, so for people who have fibromyalgia, body aches, let's say you're lifting an extra heavy in the weight room or whatever, and you want to give yourself a little therapy, you can rub it on. It goes in transdermally and will activate in real time the endocannabinoid receptors and retard the pain receptors on contact.
Okay, move down this. What's on the lower screen, Paul? Would you move it down there? Or is that just different sizes? Oh,
Yeah,
what's this anti-aging cream? Please tell me.
Oh,
about
I need that.
Me too.
You know, I call it miracles in a jar, but I don't know if the miracles can go that far, guys.
Well, maybe the med beds will help some.
Yeah, there
But
you
anyway, why did they? What was the thinking behind it? Is there a certain kind of CBD that's in that?
I bet you if we could get Brad on for an interview, he could probably tell you that, because I don't know. I don't know what was in his head when he created it, but I like the fact that he uses frankincense and myrrh. I don't know anybody else.
Yeah, I do too. That, yeah.
Frankincense and myrrh.
Yeah, they're wonderful. Okay, so should we move on to the next product?
Yeah, so let's onward.
You even have one
Yes,
for
so
sensitive skin as well. We didn't mention that, but it's all there on the page if you just go to it. So let's go to
cocoa bars. Yeah, folks. If you got a sweet tooth, this will help satisfy it. Anyways,
Coffee and cocoa?
Okay.
No.
Where's my cocoa bars, bro? I don't see no cocoa bars.
There.
That's hemp chocolates.
Yeah.
Oh my God, chocolate. Who died?
They call them hemp chocolates.
Let me explain real quick on this. Folks, you can get 3 for $36. Anyways, the prices are all there. You can get by the case. We have it by the case. For anybody that's in, like I say, a retail store, I mean, this is probably one of the best cocoa bars on planet Earth. When we get the high side, I'd love to make some THC cocoa bars. These are not THC cocoa bars, but they are CBD.
Yes, let's stick on the totally legal stuff.
Yeah. Well, you get 10 milligrams in each chunk. These are like all these bars are almost a quarter a pound a piece. They're pretty heavy. They're stout. It took Brad 2.5 years approximately to play with the chocolate to get it to where it's really pretty tasty. When we first started making them, I was not happy, but now I'm a lot happier. He's done a really good job on these chocolate bars. So if you're looking for chocolate, but most people don't realize, Gail, we don't use Hershey's chocolate. This is organic cacao. We use 73% in all these chocolate bars, which is a major adjunct to help with the brain stem as well for the neuron pathways. It was used many, many centuries ago as a trading tool, cocoa. So Brad made the marriage in heaven by putting cacao and CBDs all in one. So now you're getting dense food nutrition and you're getting a double down effect for operating and getting the neuron pathways working a little bit better. But there you go. You see cases. And in the summertime, obviously we have to pack it in ice so our stuff doesn't melt. And I think there's when it gets too hot, Brad doesn't really send too many chocolate bars out.
Oh yeah, baby.
It would be all melted here in Arizona.
Cases of chocolate.
Yes.
Literally cases of chocolate.
People who super love chocolate couldn't get a better deal because they'll get the CBDs at the same time. So that's pretty cool.
Really?
And the upside, all the products that people look at, when they click on the product in real time, they can go look at the elements, what's in our products. We are,
and it's all organic, even though it doesn't say so.
Well, no, we're sticklers on keeping our stuff clean. Can't say that about the rest of the industry. So that's cocoa bars. If you want a little piece of heaven, I eat a couple. When I have them, I eat about 6 of them at night when I go to sleep. When I relax, I put some 432 music on and get my vibration right, and do a couple chunks of cocoa and get my sweet tooth happy. Anyways, here's a coffee. I've not used Brad's hemp coffee, but I'm sure it's pretty good. And I've had hemp coffee from another company before, and it's got a nice nutty taste to it. It's much, much healthier for you than Folgers.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, Paul, you drink the Folgers, don't you?
No.
What do you drink?
Oftentimes if I find it on sale, I'll drink Maxwell House because it's only like $5 a can. But I am really, really partial to Seattle Blend K-Cups.
There you go.
I use organic coffee myself.
Yeah, I like some dark roast, French roast. My squirrels like French roast too.
My coffee could probably eat the plating off of a spoon. So I don't put sugar in my coffee.
I don't either. I don't put cream or sugar. In the Navy, you were lucky to find coffee, and when you did find coffee, there was never cream or sugar, so you learned to drink it black. And yes, it would peel the paint off the bulkhead.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the SOS product.
Yes.
That is a product I have not tried.
And you don't know what you're missing. Paul, if you want to open up the link so I can show the laundry list of the 5,000 things, but except the kitchen sink that's in this powder. Folks, this is a meal replacement powder, unparalleled to none on planet Earth. It's got 60 milligrams of CBD, full spectrum CBD in every meal replacement. So if you're talking about dense nutrition, you have blood sugar issues, high blood pressure, what do they call it?
Do you mind if I read this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Peter, I'll just read it. Because it's the world's only meal replacement with hemp spectrum, CBD, hemp spectrum is all the cannabinoids from the hemp flower. Hemp spectrum is a new official term for CBD and all the 118 cannabinoids combined, including its natural terpenes. We love SOS Complete Meal because it is a complete vegetable-based protein, is gluten-free, contains fiber, and is processed naturally using no chemical procedures. As a vegan or a vegetarian protein source, SOS Complete Meal is an ideal source of vegetable-based proteins. There are no other additives or flavors or chemical processes used in creating our finished SOS Complete Meal product, like many products on today's counters made from soy or whey protein. SOS Complete Meal has quite low carbohydrate levels and does not contain oligosaccharides, which is a sugar. Soy, for example, is very high in oligosaccharides. I don't know if I'm saying that correct, but which cause flatulence and bloating. Our SOS Complete Meal is certified organic to ensure that through processing, the final product is as naturally clean and pure as possible. In addition, our SOS Complete Meal product is raw, vegan, non-GMO, and proudly made in the USA. America first.
And also, it's got probiotics. It's got 1.5 billion. It's got 1.5 billion in probiotics. It shows the enzymes. I mean, this is I'm really impressed when Brad created this SOS powder. And yes, folks, a lot of this stuff tastes like crap. Let me tell you something. When I was a bodybuilder and I would have to go to GNC, all their stuff tastes like crap because it was crap because it was made by Big Pharma. It had soy, it had whey, it had all these fillers because that's the cheap money. They put lots of fillers, and so they're not concerned with you healing. This has Brad went the extra yard to create the probiotics in there. You got the CBDs, and it tastes freaking great.
I love it that it says it's chlorophyll packed, organic wheatgrass, barley grass, alfalfa, oatgrass juice, organic superfruits, and vegetables. Not to mention the cleansing fiber, digestive enzymes, and probiotics. It is a very impressive profile. Very.
And it tastes great. So, it's like, they can sell you stuff on the planet, but usually it tastes like crap if it's good for you. But this really tastes really good. I bought 2 jars of chocolate, and it's no longer exists because the wife likes chocolate. So,
20 grams of clean organic plant protein with 44 superfoods, including organic grass juices, fruits and veggies, and 7 grams of fiber to keep you satisfied.
Yep.
Yes, that's very impressive. I'm going to have to get some. I haven't tried that yet, but I intend to.
Yep.
So from a nutritional standpoint, oh my goodness, you really do have a meal replacement there. That is something to be proud of.
And if you're having trouble keeping regular, 1.5 billion live probiotics plus enzymes to help balance blood sugar for individuals within normal healthy ranges, improve digestion, and promote healthy intestinal flora.
And let me tell you, if you've ever been on any kind of antibiotics, you definitely need that to replace those probiotics.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. It's going to help the gut get right, So because most people's guts are inverted, they got candiasis, or they got.
Well, that part of that, Peter, is a result of our food being saturated with glyphosate. It kills all our good bacteria in our gut.
Oh wow!
Anyways, I'm going to leave the ingredients for everybody else to read up on it. I wanted to show people that this. Paul, if you just go to the bottom. Yeah, and it's got organic spinach. Look at the veggies; they're great. I mean, this is like it's like I say, it's everything but the kitchen sink in a meal replacement drink. So for those of people that maybe don't want to do the paste or whatever, this is a great alternative, dense food nutrition on the next level. Get your blood sugar right, and yes, it helps with weight remediation. Because when you're feeding the body the dense nutrition, you're eating a lot less of the garbage because you're satisfied, and that's half the problem. People's palates not being satisfied, they'll eat 50 pounds of fries and a burger, and they can't move after they finish the meal. But they just clog the whole system up,
Wow.
Very impressive profile. Very, very impressive nutritionally.
Wow.
The only thing I would caution, if you're a person that's very allergic to anything, like some people are allergic to alfalfa, for example, that's be sure to look at the ingredient list to make sure there isn't anything that would be a problem for you.
Yeah, because there's everything in there but the kitchen bloody sink.
Exactly.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Okay.
What's the nutraceutical thing?
Yeah, go ahead and open it up just for a second. That's other stuff that we have. Matter of fact, remember I was covering cancer the last week. If you scroll on down, actually go into clearance. But anyway, that's got organic powders and stuff like that. I'm not, like I say, I let people, I'm more
make their own choices in that regard.
Yeah.
There's some neat stuff in here for people to look up.
Oh, you have a mushroom defense there. That's pretty good. I like that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. We have the cayenne pepper on this other one. On the clearance, we have detoxify, cayenne pepper, astragalus, green tea, cat's claw.
I got to ask you, what's in the detoxify? Do you know?
I do not have a clue. We have graviola. I've done research on graviola like 20 years ago. It's
out of stock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The detox. Small wonder. Okay.
Yeah.
Cayenne pepper is really good for the heart. For those, I usually put it in my water, or I'll put it in with my lemon water. Cayenne pepper, I try and put on food too, because it's really good for the heart. Matter of fact, cayenne pepper is
it's great for circulation. It's a little hot for me, but it is good. Oh, the nattokinase is good too.
Calcium. Anyways, put some coral calcium. Anyways, these are, I guess, the clearance stuff, items that I really don't go into this background too much. But this is, people can look, and if you scroll all the way down, there was one other thing.
There it is, mushroom immune.
And the wormwood. Remember when I did the chemo show a couple weeks back? They were actually talking about wormwood as an adjunct for cancer.
Yes.
Wow.
Anyway,
it's a parasite killer.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we need to start with Washington D.C. first.
Yeah, but we'd need cases of it, and I don't think he's got that much on clearance
on the planet.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough wormwood on the planet to kill the parasites in D.C. So
that's a good one. You guys are funny. All righty. Is there anything else we need to cover? I think we pretty much covered it all, didn't we?
And folks, the reason we put this video together is I know everybody gets busy in life and busy on the planet. This is edible food grade healing paste. It is edible. You don't snort it. You don't smoke it. You don't pack it in your bowl. This is food grade. And when you start, I'm going to be doing some more disease videos with Gail down the road, covering what different things that this helps heal. But I mean, the fact that it can get people off of opioids, remediate the side effects of chemo, get people off of, Alzheimer's and, get their Alzheimer's and dementia rewrote, help vaccine injured children because the chemicals, they got all that buildup of the toxins.
Yeah, you're talking about neurogenesis there. And that is one of the things that the cannabinoids and the hemp product is really good for. That's why you have the connections between both sides of the brain as well. It just helps in that regard significantly. So,
yep. So, and we do. I mean, we do. I don't want to really share the opportunity right now, but yeah, we are building and we are helping people who are helping others in the community who are about healing humanity. We'll probably do a video on that somewhere down the road. Yeah, I'd love to do a video on the for people wanting to help in their communities, because it's going to be done at the community level. It's not going to be done on Facebook or big pharma land. I don't ever have plans. I never planning on putting my jars in any commercial stores. We got to get to the healers on planet Earth, because a lot of them are sharing the oil with their friends, which they started them in the right direction. But they can maximize the healing. Imagine if you're an alternative healer and you can offer up CBD paste that heals the neuron pathways in the brain and really goes to work on healing pretty much most medical maladies on planet Earth.
Okay. Well, I think we've covered everything we wanted to cover.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Great show. Lots of information, lots of cool products. Gail, myself, and Peter, we thank you all for joining us. Take care, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
This program is not intended to treat, diagnose, prevent, or cure any disease and should not be considered medical advice. The statements herein have not been evaluated by the FDA. Viewers are directed to consult professional sources before acting on any information presented here.